Okay, so my supposedly lunch break now, so I'm gonna keep looking at the Toronto online exhibitions and see what's going on in Toronto this month. Okay, Kovler Arts, Toronto Contemporary Gallery, Dundas West. Yesterday and the day before, we were checking out the exhibitions and collections of Art Gallery of Ontario, AGO. And I was just so amazed by their collection. I never really browsed their collection online, although I visited AGO several times in the past 10 years. I think the first time I visited was before they had the expansion, before they had the glass walled or glass windowed gallery. STEAM, Impressionist Painting Across the Atlantic. Interesting topic. Okay, let's see. Steam-powered travel transformed the way artists moved through and interacted with the world around them, whether across the ocean or out to the countryside. With greater access to transatlantic travel beginning in the 1870s, Canadian artists had more opportunities to study and work in Europe than ever before. Across Europe, affordable steam-powered train travel enabled artists to explore landscapes beyond the city center. The 20 paintings in this gallery showcase the impact travel had on artists from France, England, and Canada, sparking and spreading as it did the style of painting we now call Impressionism. This is so interesting. I never really saw any exhibition on this topic or exploring how transatlantic travel influenced Canadian artists. Although I know there are many examples. Okay, any other information of this exhibition? No, only one image. This painting is by Renoir. The Signer at Chateau, 1871 oil on canvas. And this painting was purchased. So book tickets, become member, learn more. Now let's just Google the topic of this show and see any other audiences posted any photos. No. What's going on? Oh, it's Steam is an application. Let's AGO exhibition. Any other information on this exhibition? Oh, Curator's talk. Oh, there's a video. Great. There's an image of train. Steaming into Impressionism, our new exhibition STEAM, Impressionist Painting Across the Atlantic, has us thinking about trains. So recently we chatted with Jean-Paul Viard, curator at the Canadian Railway Museum, Expo Rail, to learn how steam travel transformed the way people moved across the map. The steam locomotives lead Canadian Pacific Railway excursion near Orangeville, Ontario, May 1960. 1960 train. Canadian trains are the best. The time has come to say goodbye to Paul. Oh, photographs. Oh, Paul McCartney just ended the show. Any publications? No. Back to the homepage. movie. Okay, so let's look at this video. Oh, it's at another exhibition. Oh, not this exhibition, some other exhibition at Asheville Art Museum. Any connection between this show and the AGO's exhibition? American Impressionist paintings. Style painting known as so it just happened to be the same title. American Impressionism through the French lens. So this one must be about the show. Curator's talk, Impressionism in the Age of Industry. What's the date of this talk? Let's see. Let's open it on YouTube.
Leo's working hard, growing.
And it's posted on.
Pampers is working
was
hard.
posted 7 years ago. I see. So it's not about this show though.
To keep him comfortably dry.
Assistant Curator European Art discusses her major new exhibition, Impressionism in the Age of Industry, Monet, Pissarro, and more. So it's not about the Canadian artists. Well, I guess we have to go see this exhibition in person though. There's not much information or catalog. What's on? We already talked about some of these exhibitions yesterday. Rembrandt. Well, this is a long exhibition. Picture Space. Let's see. Picture Space. So again, only one paragraph, one image and one paragraph, no catalog. The artists unveil here each day, each play with surface texture and the materials of their photographs. In their own ways, they expand two-dimensional picture space into 3 dimensions and call attention to framing, be it of the camera, the scanner, the computer screen, or the walls of a room. They highlight how the act of making a photograph transforms what we see, and thus what we experience. Picture Space brings together artworks by Barbara Astman, Sandra Brewstar, Anne Collier, Chris Carreri, Luther Conado, Susie Lake, Scott McFarland, Abelardo Morel, Michael Snow, Alex South, Cheryl Solkis, Ian Wallace, and James Holding. I see. There are some well-known artists in this roster here, so it must be interesting. So it must be a very well curated and researched show because it sounds so interesting. Let's see if there are more images posted by audiences. Picture Space. No. Space. Any videos? Well, I guess they're not sharing much information online. I wonder if there's a catalog. Picture Space. No, too bad. Well, let's look at collections. Let's look at their collections in focus. Okay, we already looked at the Boxwood project yesterday, just so amazing. Malcolmson collection. Malcolmson collection spans the history of photography from the 1840s. Sounds interesting. Let's see what 1840s photographs are like. Let's see. Great Wave, Steerage, Indian Girls, Chateau of Princess Matilda, Anghin, Burial Mound, Algeria. About the collection. videos. Okay, let's look at this video. Looks like Man Ray's. No, Man Ray is modern. Man Ray is not from this period. Let's see.
The collection is really two things. First, it is a history of the medium. So there is some representative example
donors
of
this
all
collection.
the significant phases of the history of the medium, the 1850s,
1840s,
the new
Victorialism,
objectivity, Europe
the new
between
objectivity,
the wars,
Europe between the wars, Russian photography, and
American
American humanism.
But it's also a second thing.
But also a second
and
thing.
that is, it's a concentrated look
Concentrated
at
look.
half a dozen
of the most important photographers. We have at least 5 or 6 individual works.
Representative of their total work
by
total
work
Man
by
Ray,
oh,
Bravo,
it was Man Ray, yeah.
Tez,
Man Ray.
Robert Frank, and Bill Brandt.
Man Ray is a favorite of
Man Ray is favorite of both of us, and
part of the reason
that we have been so intrigued
and love Man Ray's work is because he was so experimental with making the process of making photographs.
A lot of whether you like something is just emotional and intuitive, and there are certain works that I will respond with a stronger emotional, intuitive response than Anne will.
Oh, they are responsible collectors. They are seriously responsible and knowledgeable collectors.
The work.
I love the salt paper prints. I love the texture of the paper, the feel of the paper, and those are the earliest.
You don't just collect randomly. You just be very focused.
So that certainly
on a topic on the art that you really like, you really enjoy collecting, really enjoy researching or
really love. But
having
you have
them.
always said that if there was a fire, the one piece you would go to rescue first is Curator's street workers.
And of course, collectors all have their
I
own
would go for
very interesting stories on how they acquired and how they preserved, or how they were sharing their collection.
Matilda's house in Anaheim, north of Paris. Sometimes there's a difference in what we like, but then we have a good time arguing that out and pointing out things to each other, thinking about history.
I cannot wait
how
to
this
just
particular
browse
piece fits
their
in.
collection. Let's see. The Malcolmson collection spans the history of photography from the 1840s, with works by inventor William Tex Talbot to the 2000s, with works by contemporary artists Scott McFarlane, Ian Wallace, some others, and includes representative photographs from each of the significant periods and styles of the histories of the medium. The collection highlights photographers known as creating a unique photographic visual languages, including all these artists. Oh, Laszlo Moholy-Nagy, one of my favorite artists. Well, our decision to collect historic photography was driven by an intuitive sense that there were works whose aesthetic value and accomplishments were unrecognized. Collecting in this area has been an amazing and remarkable voyage, just remarkable. So admirable that they were digging very deep into the art or artists that were relatively unrecognized. The steerage. Oh, they have Stieglitz. And just one image, no description. Collection grid. Oh, that is the whole collection. So let's get back to the collection. Indian Girls. Chateau. Let's browse all. Well, some images are unavailable. Sad ceremony attending. Look at these photos, the angle. Where is this? Gelatin silver print Malcolm collection. Not currently on display but available. England. Okay. Watch your international news ceremony attending proclamation of King's death. I see, King's death. Howard, another king of arms attired in traditional costume. I see. We're glad we get to see these photographs, these scenes, these historic moments. A scene in New York, a steep pool, abstraction. Locomotion. Now, they really span a long period of time, this collection. Chicago. Okay, Chicago. I studied in Chicago. So, and of course, when I browse Chicago, social media always push me a lot of information or contents about Chicago, and I'm always drawn to my second home, Chicago. Oh, speaking of Chicago, you guys have to check out the photographs by Vivian Meyer. Vivian Meyer, American photographer. She was a nanny, and she was single her whole life. And after she passed away, her employer's children, so the children whom she looked after, was taking care of the negatives of her work, and then they were sold by bulk at an auction or something, and then after she passed away, these remarkable photographs of Chicago were discovered and studied and cherished, and now they are in collections, in museums and in collections. I was lucky to see a few at Equinox Gallery's satellite site at the Fairmont Pacific Rim Hotel in downtown Chicago. Only like 2 photographs. The only of among all her photographs, I only got to see 2 of them in person in Vancouver. So you guys have to check out the story and check out her photographs. Otherwise, they were just totally lost in storage or somewhere. Yeah, she was traveling just on the street of Chicago and just snapped these like miracles on streets. Black and white photograph, and a few of them, a very small number of them are in color. Look at the light, the people's expressions, the contrast of all these. So like each of her photographs are just a masterpiece. I just can't get over it. And this was probably in the 50s in Chicago. That's herself. Yeah, that's herself. Well, maybe we should spend a day going over this website. Maybe tomorrow. No. So now let's get back to the Malcolmson collection. Chicago closes 97 and 103 Salt Market 1868. Where is this? This is England. Salt Market. I wonder where it is. Stock market. Oh, London. Still England. Concrete. Or in artist's eyes, everything is art, right? Any corner, any like trash cans, leaning again to eat each other on streets, like colorful trash cans, they're all art. Just capture them with your phone or camera. Now it's just so convenient to capture any images with your phone. Speaking of images, it takes human beings like more than 100,000 years or something to go from picking up the stick on the ground to draw something till a world that flooded with images and videos. It takes a long time, but it accelerated significantly in recent time, in our time, which is just remarkable. Everything seems to be accelerated, and not sure what the images or the sense of imagery or the sensation or the way we perceive images or the way we recreate images are gonna last. Not sure how long this format of creating and perceiving images or can last, because now it's all generative art. What's this? Oh, it's French. Let's translate. Egypt, Syrian, Arab cemetery, funerary inscriptions. Funerary inscriptions. Let's see what it says. No, not translated yet. So I wish the curator gonna translate these inscriptions into English for the visitors. I'm just so curious what's written on these inscriptions. Eiffel Tower. These just feel so remote from our lives. By looking at this looks like a theater scene, a scene from a theater stage play, and there's not much information about it. It's just a beautiful, beautiful scene. Hollywood premiere. Well, no wonder why these beautiful photographs are in this collection, because this Malcolmson couple is serious and responsible and knowledgeable about their collection of what should be in the collection. Just beautiful. Yeah, start collecting anytime you want. Just see anything you like and you can afford. Just buy them, and then you can slowly build a collection of your own. And they become part of the human civilization. And you yourself can become a part of the everlasting civilization of human beings. Be a responsible human being. Be a responsible torch carrier of human civilization. So the music you like, the art you like, the food you like all become part of the civilization. And now the civilization is traveled to the space. Oh, this must be Moholy-Nagy or just photograph. No. Which artist? No. Looks like Moholy-Nagy's sculpture or assemblage. Nude. Queen, Heinrich Queen, 1906. Oh, these are rare. Lunar photographer Dilambri Manilius. Bezel plate from Photographic Atlas of the Moon. There's another one. Oh, this is a collection of lunar photography. There's some annotations on the craters. Serious collector, serious collection. And some ancient ruins, maybe architecture. Collection. Not much information. Syria? No. Any? Let's just translate that. I see. Maybe Latin. Inscribed in pencil? No. I wish to learn more about this piece. Number and artist name. Okay, let's do a Google image search and see where exactly this is. Can we search directly? Google image, open image, search this image with the Google Lens. Okay. Okay. This is a salted paper print photograph titled Porte du Temple de Jupiter. French photographer Maxime Duchamp in September 1850. This image depicts the ruins of the gate to the Temple of Jupiter, Lebanon. Let's see. Let's find if this temple is still standing. Oh, there is. Beautiful.
Trilithons is 20 meters long, about 5 meters wide and 4 meters high.
Is it?
The weight of each trilithon is about 800 tons. Unfortunately, neither photo nor video.
Just beautiful. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. Let's find out more about this temple here. High Google reviews. High scores of Google reviews. It's a colossal Roman temple in Baalbek, Lebanon. It is the largest of the Roman world after the temples of Venus and Roma in Rome. It is unknown who commissioned or designed the temple, nor exactly when it was constructed. Its construction most likely began in the 1st century BC. It is situated at the western end of the Great Court of Roman Heliopolis. On a broad platform of stone raised another 7 meters above the huge stones of the foundation, 3 of which are among the heaviest blocks ever used in the construction. Cultic activity had long taken place at the site. The temple presumably replaced an earlier one, possibly using the same foundation. It was the biggest temple dedicated to Jupiter Optimus Maximus Heliopolitanus in all the Roman Empire. The column were 19.9 meters high with a diameter of nearly 2.5 meters. Oh my God, the biggest in the classical world. It took 3 centuries to create this colossal temple complex. Oh my God. Took 3 centuries. Oh, humans were so driven. Humans. Architecture. Let's see the location. In Lebanon. I see. Oh. We should go see it in person. The largest, the biggest temple. Oh. Painter of black. Oh, there's a painter painting a mural. It's a great capture, very great capture of the scene or a movement. Portrait. Snow on concrete. A very serene scene, a serene corner. So calming. With a shadow cast on the snow. Probably a temple or something. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. Corner of a pool. Subway, New York, 1957. Ferry boat. Okay, do we really want to travel back in time? It's a large collection. It's a large collection. Okay, now we're at the last page of this collection. Not all images are available online, and not all images are displayed, but you can go see them by demand, I guess. Okay, let's see what other collections at AGO are online. Collection, learn, conservation. What is conservation? Conservation is the care and protection of cultural objects. As the caretakers of collection, conservators examine, research, and learn and repair artworks, while also taking action to prevent future deterioration. Here at the AGO, the conservation team works closely together with curators, the mount maker, the map maker, framers, and the installation team. All these specialists collaborate to ensure each work will look its best, not only for today but also for generations to come. Yeah, the conservation or the keeping of material culture is just so important. Material culture. Conservation case studies. Let's see if there are any interesting cases of conservation. Conserving a 350-year-old architectural model. When I was a student in Florida at the Natural History Museum of Florida, a curator was giving us a tour. There was like a 1,000-year-old fish net, a small piece of 3,000-year-old or 1,000-year-old fishing net as a artifact. The curator says that if the temperature in this display case fluctuates 5 degrees Fahrenheit, the net gonna fall apart. So they're just really sensitive to temperature, to humidity and temperature, and surprisingly, they fall apart within 5 degrees of Fahrenheit of temperature fluctuation. So I guess conservation is not easy. It's really scientific, and so many things are at high stake. So, let's see, conserving a 350-year-old architectural model. Posted a year ago. Oh, there's no closed caption. And there it is. Started from the start. Conservators, they have to have like 800 hours of practicum before they can really become a full-time conservator, I believe. And they're just so important that they themselves have to be a good painter or good craftsman who knows chemistry, who knows physics and chemistry and art history. They give new lives. They revive all these beings. Beautiful, just beautiful. Just beautiful. Look at the inlays. This is just this crazy amount of inlays. Crazy amount of inlays on 3D objects. Not just a panel or table or chair. Oh, we get to see the inside. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, and Highway to Hell. Conservator Sherry Phillips revisits the Trans Am Apocalypse number 3. Oh, it's a real car. Excuse me. I have a lot of respect to the museum staff because I myself was one. They are just the guardians and the guardian angels of artifacts of civilization, and they pour their soul into their work. Okay, these beneath the surface. Let's see if they reveal anything by X-ray. Video unavailable. Well, let's go back. Hive mind. Oh, there's a beehive. There's a beehive. Oh my god. Sheriff is conservator, contemporary art, shares her insights on preparing Pierre Hugues Untitled Legendary Fauernacht, a statue that contains a live beehive for display. So the beehive is part of this piece. Concrete cast with beehive structure, wax sculpture, beehive dimensions variable, collection of our Ontario purchased. When Kitty Scott, curator of contemporary art, modern art at the AGO, first mentioned we would be acquiring Untitled by this artist, I was intrigued. Containing a living system, this sculpture required a new way of thinking, and so began a fascinating and inspiring 2-year process of prepare Untitled for its public display in Toronto. Because bees and bee products are very carefully regulated by the province of Ontario, the sculpture had to be fully realized here. This is when I began my familiarization with the Ontario Bee Act. In addition to protocols governing the health and welfare of the insects, the document covers important restrictions, hive replacement, and distance from roadways and public places. How and where were we going to install the concrete sculpture in order to develop its comb? You have to develop its cone. We were fortunate, so you start from only the concrete part and then grow a cone. We were fortunate to have found an enthusiastic ally in Alfred Caron, director of the Four Seasons Center for the Performing Arts. The organization had an established urban beekeeping project on their roof. Good. And was happy to host our sculpture. Their learned bookkeeper, Fred Davis, became the beekeeper for the project. Oh my God. So nothing is impossible, and not everything has been done yet in art. That's for sure. During the first season, we introduced Ontario honeybees and then started building a comb. They actually built a comb. Oh my God. Towards the fall, we had a promising comb. And it wasn't ready for public display. The second year built on the first, with a hive perhaps 60,000 strong. Now working on the comb, it grew quickly and took a magnificent form. Fred has been invaluable in maintaining the health and welfare of the bees, and I've had the privilege of personal tutor in apiculture. It has been wonderful to have the project mostly. Oh my God, it took them 2 years to grow the comb, to develop this hive for the sculpture. Any description on these bees? I'm just curious. What did this piece try to convey? Untitled. And the AGO acquired this piece in their collection, so now they have to grow a new beehive whenever they put this piece on display. It was also viewed on MoMA. Any description? Okay. Untitled Liegende Frauenacht is a sculptural collaboration between human and insect. The work marries a concrete sculpture and the Liegende Frauenacht, reclining female nude, with a self-generating natural system, a living beehive that progressively covers the figure's head. Oh, it's not untitled, Untilled makes slight reference to the concepts of the hive mentality, or collective thought process, and self-organization, mutating or according to the life cycle of the bee colony and codependent on its environment. Untilled reimagines the notion of sculpture rather than an inanimate object to be seen. It is a living organism to be experienced. Since the early 1990s, I had to find out how to read this name. Hai has created life situations, dynamic environments, objects, and films. His work investigates the physical and temporal experience of living beings, both human and animal, from bees to dogs to bacteria, and speculates on beings without life, such as those potentially present in evolving technologies. So interesting. By letting non-anthropocentric techniques and behaviors shape his work, he embraces what he identifies as rhythms, automatisms, accidents, and continuous change. Just so interesting, so interesting. Let's see if he has other works available online. A Hive Mind, you guys have to watch the show. I don't even remember the show's name. The series by the maker of Better Call Saul. Vince. Oh, Pluribus. Yeah, Pluribus is the title of the show. It's about hive mind. I won't spoil it. You guys have to watch it. After you watch the show, so probably you will get what this sculpture means, or what these pieces mean. It's not a manifestation of the concept of hive mind, but it's an interesting way or a twist to get your attention on this concept of hive mentality. Well, it's a science fiction, so interesting. And the second season is being filmed, I believe. So speaking of collecting living organisms or perishable sculpture or art pieces, artworks that use perishable material, how can you collect the piece? How can you put this piece? How do you conserve the piece? Let's ask. Collecting and preserving art with living or perishable materials, example food, plants, or organic waste, requires a shift from permanent preservation to managing change. Institutions balance the artist's intent with a reality of decay by establishing three primary frameworks: permanent stabilization, allowed ephemerality, or deliberate replacement or decaying components. The living ledger, because biological materials constantly transform, the detailed documentation is essential. Conservators create thorough condition reports, document the material source, and log exact fabrication recipes and historical context. The source is Smithsonian American Art Museum. Material sign-offs. The artist's exact intent for the lifespan of the work is recorded. This determines whether the work is treated as a finite piece or one meant to be remade. The source is Getty Museum. Scientific profiling. Institutions conduct chemical and microbiological testing to understand the material structural component. Stabilization and remediation. Conservators use specific treatments such as adding clear archival resin to bond deteriorating pieces and slow the decay of organic material without altering its aesthetic. Microbial defense. To prevent unwanted mold or insect damage, conservators safely treat organic elements using natural inhibitors such as targeted essential oil, which act as bactericides and fungicides. Preventive environments. Using advanced preventive conservation strategies. Museums strictly control temperature, relative humidity, and light exposure to mitigate degradation. Yeah, I have seen a lot of artworks using sugar, using the M&M, chocolate, candy, or one of my schoolmates in Chicago were using cake, candies, and she was calling them edible art. So I was very interested in edible art for a while because of her works. And yeah, she was doing some installation like small to medium scale islands composed of blue candies or candies wrapped in blue foils to make an island or a slope that hold cakes. And one artist was doing sculpture or a floor installation or floor pond of chocolate. and some suspended columns of sugar. And the challenges we were facing was that the when in order to display this piece, you have to use spotlight. And back then there were no LED lights yet, so we had to use just hot bulbs to be pointed at her work, and the sugar started to melt. So I've always had this question of how to collect or display or conserve these perishable pieces. So now we got some answers. So I guess it's just the nature, of these type of art. Oh, this hive is completely new to me. So let's come back tomorrow, or actually next week. Tomorrow is Saturday. Let's come back next week to look at more collections of AGO or the photographs of Bibi Meyer or any other exhibitions on now online in Toronto. Okay, see you guys next time.